Hey, welcome to Our Two Cents, a ReegleShenanigans podcast where we talk nothing about nothing, but...
We talk about everything.
No, we talk about nothing but pennies. Penny facts. That's what we do talk about here. Penny fact number one.
Penny fact.
Penny fact. Penny fact number one. The penny is in fact worth 1 cent. Penny fact number two. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln is in fact on both sides of the penny?
Yes, he is.
Penny fact number three. Today I am Jarus Reegle and this is John Reese. Welcome to Our Two Cents.
So before we really get into tonight, I just want to throw out this proclamation of faith. Jarus and I are both Christians. We believe in Jesus. We love Jesus. And our topics, our conversations may end up talking about him. So if that offends you or makes you uncomfortable, sorry, but we're not sorry. We love Jesus. So
yes, we do.
I hope that you benefit from tonight and enjoy the podcast.
And we're going to, oh my gosh.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it.
I just lost everything. We'll run off of I'll pull it up. You start out, I'll get it up.
I put together, just a quick insert, I put together a lineup, and Jarus and I have these tablets that we're going with, and he took his tablet off of his detachable keyboard, and everything just disappeared. He lost it all.
Come on.
It's okay.
It's the
internet.
Hey, and it's back.
Hey! So the first topic,
technology.
The first topic that I picked out today that I thought was interesting, I thought, hey, that'd be cool to talk about because obviously everyone has something like this in the United States, and it's about screen usage or screen time, especially directed towards kids. So there's and I say that as we're looking at our tablets.
Oh my gosh, and mine just completely failed on me.
Oh, well, then there you go. That's why we shouldn't.
Here we go. We're going to talk about just this. The problems of screens.
Yep.
I'll get it back up.
But I got this article. I read it off of newsy.com, and they have a couple of different references to different surveys and things that were done across, I want to say just the country. I don't think it's international. So, but really it's talking about just the amount of time that kids are using screens, laptops, phones, and tablets mainly. The amount of time that they're on them, and the study it was pretty interesting. There was a study done where there's basically 3 types of screen usage. There's consumption, creativity, and communication. So it's either they're consuming, they're pretty much addicted, they're just using it, they're wasting their time.
And if I may, I got to interrupt you on that. I feel like too, and it's just anything, cell phones, whatnot, I feel like that once I've got my smartphone, I feel like that I pulled it out and just started using it without even realizing that I'm using it.
Yeah.
I'm just flipping through it, just twiddling my thumb up, sliding up, whatever it is, whatever motion it is, and it's very addicting in that sense because it's like you just pick it up and just start playing with it.
Well, that's the big pull towards anything with a screen that you can hold in your hands. Like, it's a good time filler. I'm not doing anything right now. I want to do something with my time. Oh, here's my smartphone. I can cruise on whatever social media site. I can look at funny videos or informational videos, whatever it is. It's just good time filler. And sometimes we use it productively, but half the time it's just stuff.
Yeah, and it's pointless stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of pointless stuff that we'll be talking about on this podcast.
Yeah. But that's consumption, which seems like it's a massive contributor to the overall usage of screens. But then the 2 that I found interesting were communication and creativity.
And I'm going to guess right now those are the 2 good ones that allow great possibilities.
Yeah, they're the benefits of handheld devices with screens.
Right now, and again, this is useful. What we're doing these with right now, we're sharing this document with our lineup that we have for the podcast.
We're using communication. We were using creativity with the apps that we were doing and looking up information. But That's the thing is, on average, the percentage of people that are using consumption in comparison to the other two, it seems to be a little uneven. So you could say it's like 50 consumption, 25, 25 of the other two, you know? And I'm just saying that's very broad, you know, guesstimation. That's not the science of it. But a big thing that this article focused on was parents regulating screen time for their kids, and should you or should you not give your kids a time frame? Like, you can have you can be on your computer for 2 hours today. You know, that's kind of what they
2
suggest.
hours,
2 hours a day for a child 2 and older.
To use it at all, or
to use it all, to screen time. Like, you can sit in front of the screen 2 hours a day.
No, and I'm going off of what you're saying by your personal opinion. Are you, and that is that counting, like, if they actually need the computer for school?
No. This is what they're saying on the article. It's not my personal. Their suggestion is 2 hours a day for a kid from 2 to, 12 or whatever.
Right.
Is 2 hours a day. It varies depending on if it's for school, like the creativity or communication. But on average, it's 2 hours a day for whatever. So what do you think? Do you think that it's okay to regulate how much time your kids have in front of a screen? And if so, how much time? And if you don't think that it's good, why don't you think it's good?
It's hard to say. I mean, not hard to say exactly. Like, me growing up, I didn't have a screen. I didn't start getting technology. I had some video games every now and then, but I didn't have anything screen related until maybe I was 14, 15. Mm-hmm. That's a guess. I'm probably wrong at that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say that. For me, I don't have an opinion on it because I'm kind of in that minority of it now. I think growing up, I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone. I didn't get my cell phone until I was 18, and you see these kids in elementary school with cell phones, and my niece, you hand her, she's 3, you hand her a cell phone, she knows how to work it.
Yeah.
It's that time that you grow up in. So I feel like maybe when I was younger, and this is just, again, an opinion of myself, when I was younger, it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I believe it is needed because it is a bit of a distraction. The 2-hour thing, I think it has something to do, maybe age, too.
Okay. When you say, like, it's a distraction, like, when you say it's needed, are you saying
like the
regulating the usage?
Needed, I meant like if you need a computer, probably going back off of what I'm saying before. I'm stuttering. I'm
just clarifying. So you're saying that regulating the time kids have in front of a screen is needed?
Yes, I feel like it is needed to an extent. Maybe not 2 hours, but.
And that's the hard thing when it comes around, if you really think about it, because it's not like, a lot of kids, it's 2 hours straight or longer. They're just in front of a screen doing whatever, playing games, whatever they're doing, watching videos, TV, whatever. But if you think about it, breaking it up throughout the day, though, like, for 10 minutes here, 12 minutes there, a 20-minute car ride from home to Chick-fil-A, they're on it. It's like, so how do you regulate it if it's not even a straight shot, 2 hours? It's throughout the day they're on their screens. That's what I find hard to regulate. Like, okay, you can only have 2 hours of time.
To really make sure that your kids are using it within that time, you don't get them a tablet. You have your personal tablet and let your kids use it, or whatever device. I don't think a kid should, again, depending on age, should even have something like that. There's more healthy outlets for them other than a tablet or a computer or a phone.
Yeah.
Maybe kids should have a phone, but I don't think a smartphone.
Yeah. And you see, and with that, like, it's hard because it's, when you come down to the regulating, well, what else are you going to do? Because you're trying to keep your kids from so much consumption from screen time. But then also, it's like, for instance, my brother, he downloaded an app onto his phone where it cuts out the blue LED kind of back, I guess, shine like from the screen.
Just like the glow
it
of
reds
the
it
phone.
out. It puts a red light kind of drop, which, because the blue light stimulates your brain and makes you awake.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the red light, it won't trigger your brain to like, oh, I need to be awake. It'll help you calm down so you can look at your phone at night and not get tired, or not wake up. It won't affect you and your thing. So there's different things like that to control. There's different things like that to regulate inside of them using it. What time of the day is it good? What time is it not okay?
Yeah, but
a
tool is only as useful as if you're using the tool.
Yeah.
Like, there's parental settings on probably any device just about. You look at it, they're probably there somewhere. The parent has to set that up for that to be useful.
That's true. All right, well, I think that's interesting. I think that I would like to hear some feedback from other people. What do you think? Do you think that...
We're addressing the audience now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you, the people listening to the podcast, what do you think? Do you think that children ages 2 to 12 should have regulated screen time? Or do you think they shouldn't? And why? For whatever your answer is. Okay, moving on to...
Yes. We're going to talk about Taco Bell. Now, this was very interesting. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, because this is actually something that personally happened to myself, and John was there. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we went to Taco Bell, and we went through the drive-thru. And I ordered my food, and John ordered his food, and I ordered a drink. Mine came with a drink. And we got to the window, I paid for it, whatnot. Stretching out the story a bit. Now I'll get to the point. She hands us the food.
No. She handed the drink.
That's right.
You say that first? Yeah.
She hands the food and the drink. No, she does. She hands the food and drink. This is actually important. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's super important.
She hands me the drink, and I set it in my cup holder. And then she takes her a minute, then comes back, here's the food, and then she says, let me get you your drink. And instinctively, immediately I say, no, you already gave it to me. And that was the end of that at actually Taco Bell. But on the car ride home, me and John started talking about it, and I said, if I would have took that second drink, would that have been stealing? Would that have been stealing? Because my logic to it was, if I'm taking that second drink, and would that count as stealing or a refill to a drink that I'm eventually going to finish? Because if you go inside the store and you dine in and eat, you get unlimited refills. I know this is for sure at Taco Bell. Obviously, some places are different. And John's opinion on it was, I can't remember. Did you say it was stealing or wasn't?
I said that it was, in a way, stealing. Like, it's hard to regulate because, instinctually we think we have our different standard of what is actual theft and what is no big deal. You walk into the grocery, it's the same thing. You walk into the grocery store where they've got the different tubs of candy that you can use a shovel to scoop out and get how many pounds of candy you want. Mm-hmm. Go and you take one gummy worm and you pop it in your mouth. Like, is that stealing? Yes, it is, because you didn't pay for it.
Could I also say this too? Is it stealing if I've seen people do this before? If you take a drink from like a refrigerator at a grocery store and you pop it open and you drink it while you're going, you haven't paid for it yet. That's not yours, but you're planning on paying for it. Yeah. And you do pay for it.
And you do pay for it.
Is that stealing?
See, I don't think that that's stealing, because you have the intention of paying for it and you do follow through on that.
But with the soda thing at Taco Bell too, I did pay for that drink.
Yeah, you paid for the drink to go. But then she was going to get you a second one with a separate cup and separate lid and straw and beverage, everything. Mm-hmm. And so you would have two. And so then it comes back around to, is that stealing because the store gives free refills if you come inside. You know, and there's no posted standard of only one fill up in the drive-thru, no free refills through the drive-thru or whatever. That's not posted anywhere.
And I think I've made this argument too. I'm sure that if we were sitting there waiting for my food and I sucked down that whole entire drink, and I asked that woman at the window if I could get a refill, I'm pretty sure she'd give it to me.
And that comes back around to it's 50-50 because she might, but another employee might say, no, we don't give free refills out the window. See, it's just, we don't know the standard of the store because the store doesn't have it posted.
Right.
You know?
Do you even think that's in, like, their terms or whatever it is? Do you think something like that would have ever come up?
Unless it became a big issue across the country, I don't think that it would come up. I don't think that they would make that something like that they have to post.
And I think I asked this question too. So that if you went in,
yeah,
because we're establishing boundaries to when a drink is paid for and refillable.
Yeah.
When you're inside, you can get as many refills as you want.
Yeah.
At what point would you not be able to get refills anymore? And you said...
I said that on average, a store has a certain time frame from when your last purchase was before it becomes loitering. And I honestly don't know what that time is. I just know working in fast food and being at different locations, talking to people that work in retail and food and all these things, is the issue is people that extend their stay and they're not buying anything because they're kind of taking up space for other potential customers.
Okay.
You know, and so you're making your money depending on how many people you can serve and get to buy stuff. So if there's someone that's there for long periods of time and they haven't bought anything, they're loitering and you can legally kick them out. You know, that's the standard that the store has. And so I don't know what Taco Bell's time frame. I don't know if there's just one time frame for every store or if each store has its own length of time that you can sit in there before it becomes loitering.
And I have to say this too. Yes, it's a soda. I mean,
yeah,
it's something cheap.
Yeah.
But it's not really, the point of it really isn't the item that's being taken, or, you know, I didn't actually take it, just in the example.
Yeah.
It's really the principle of it.
Yeah. And so
it's like, what are you willing to compromise in a situation as well?
And so that's what it came down to, I think, towards the end, because we talked about this in the car, car ride home, and what it came down to towards the end is, for me, because your instinct was to tell her, I've already got my drink, your morals kind of spoke for themselves. Like, your standard has already been set in your mind. Like, you already have that standard of, you know, she's going to get you another drink. And if you really wanted it and you said, there's nothing wrong with me getting a second drink right now,
oh yeah,
you wouldn't have said anything.
Immediately, I knew it was wrong. But I think I came to the conclusion, if I did take that drink, and if only I drank from both cups and didn't allow you to have it, I said that it wouldn't really be stealing. Yeah, it was not necessarily right, but it wouldn't be stealing in my mind.
I still don't think I can agree with that. Like, I think that it may be me, but if I'm buying one drink, and I know it sounds like it's like technicalities, but if I'm going through the drive-thru and I'm buying one drink, I'm buying just that one fill up. Like, I'm not buying refills because I'm not staying in the store with them. You know, I'm just coming through the drive-thru and I'm getting what I paid for right away and I'm leaving. It's almost like free refills in store are a complimentary add-on.
Thank you for staying in, but
yeah, for your purchase.
Now, you worked in fast food with it that had a drive-thru, correct?
Yeah.
What would be better off as you worked at, to clarify, it was Chick-fil-A, correct?
Yes, I worked at Chick-fil-A for 3 years.
Okay. As an employee at Chick-fil-A, what was better for the company, a sit-in customer or a customer through the drive-thru?
I would have to say a sit-in customer because there's more chance of them buying more.
Okay, so there is a reason for having an incentive for them to stay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get free refills, but we have more time to, offer other items off the menu. So if someone's sitting down, let's say there's a mom with a bunch of kids, okay? Now they got a lot of kids and they're all running around playing on the playground and stuff, and it's a lot to handle. But if they've already bought all their food and they're sitting down, and I come back as a good employee from Chick-fil-A, and I say, hey, can I get you all free refills? And they'd be like, wow, thank you so much. I don't want to have to go up to the counter because I got to watch my kids. I'll get your free refills for you. By the way, would you like to try one of our fudge brownies or cookies or an ice cream cone? And that's me offering and possibly getting more money.
More business for the business.
For the company. And so that's where you make a little bit of extra money, and that's how you get better regulars in the stores, because you're showing that customer service. You're kind of taking advantage of those complimentaries, the free refills and the other little things that the store has, and you're using it to make more business.
Because like when you put it out there, it just got me thinking. There are a lot of things there that they want the customer to stay. They have a playground for the kids. Free refills, restroom. Yeah, as silly as all that sounds, they are small perks to stay dining
in the store.
And it made me really thinking: is it really worth the effort of those extra things for the person? More beneficial to the company for those things to be there to try to persuade the customer to stay in. And you said yes.
I think so. I think that it's more enticing. It gives the employees to build relationships with customers, and it gives the opportunity to put an impression on the customer to want to come back and buy more food. See, because that's the whole point, is you want to have that regularity. You want them to always be coming and buying food from you. Otherwise, they're going to go to the guy next door, and then you lose business. And so that's the idea of those complimentary things in dining in. Mm-hmm. Is people are like, wow, they got free bathrooms, they're clean, they're nice, they have free refills, and they're gonna refill my drink for me. Their customer service is fantastic. Things like that bring people back, and you make more money. Whereas in the drive-thru, you can have good customer service, you can have things, but at the end of the day, it's they ordered their food, they came up, they paid for it, they got it, they left.
Right.
With the drive-thru, it's about how fast can you be, because that person wants their food and they want it fast.
Right.
And they're not, if they're coming back, they're driving back to go through the drive-thru. There's no opportunity to build that relationship with a customer to want them to come dine in,
Right. Now, my question is to the audience: would you have oh no, that's a bad way of wording it. Do you think that would have been stealing if you would have
taken the extra?
If I would have taken the extra drink?
Yeah.
I'm not really asking would you have done it the way I did it, but do you think in that situation would it have been stealing if I'd have took the extra drink?
Yeah.
Leave your comments in the comments below.
All right, next thing we got coming up is kind of ridiculous. It's stupid. Jarus found this. I heard about it actually on the radio yesterday, I think. But it was a little girl, right? In elementary school, is that what it is, or pre-K?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Anyways, the thing is, Jarus will go into detail about it, but it's about a kid who took a bubble gun, a little plastic gun that shoots out bubbles. You put the soap and the water in, and it shoots out bubbles, go around pop. She took that to school, and then she got in trouble, and she was treated like she was bringing a whipping to school.
Yes, it is in fact a young girl. It says she's in kindergarten. It doesn't give her age in this article.
Okay.
But it is a female.
But in kindergarten, not even in elementary school. So
right.
She's not even 6 years old.
Right. And I gotta say this, when I was in elementary school, you didn't go to public school. But I did. When I was in elementary school, as a little kid, you wanted to, you got some cool new toy, whatever, you were kind of allowed to bring it and show it.
Yeah.
And I remember, too, I think one year, I think it was in kindergarten, we did a Secret Santa, and I got a toy gun. as a present. So
Yeah.
it's just, again, going back, we were talking about it before, it's the times we live in. It's this gun scare thing, you know? The gun control. And it's like, yes, it's a stupid piece of plastic, though.
It's true. And honestly, I think that...
and in the... I don't know if the picture's accurate, but in the article that we're looking at, which is on the Huffington Post, it's clear. It's plastic. And you can see, like, the colorful insides of the toy gun. I believe that is the actual gun.
Wow. So, just so we're clear... And
it also now says she's 5.
She's 5. Okay.
Yes.
So... yeah, I mean, in my mind, personally, I think that exposing... Because I'm all 100% Second Amendment. Like, I think that it's important that you have the freedom to arm yourself as an American citizen for valid reasons.
And also, I'm sure you are about doing it, going about it the correct way, the safety of it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. I think that it's important to expose kids, the younger the better, to guns. And the importance of having safety with those guns. Mm-hmm. And explaining the difference between taking a bubble gun to school to shoot around and taking a real gun to school.
Right, and it is that fear right now of gun control which is causing the hysteria of a child bringing a toy to school.
Yeah, I think that because of what's happened, kids that had poor education when it came to guns, mm-hmm. that it caused issues. Not to mention that every single person that's ever brought a gun to school to shoot had something more. It wasn't just they didn't understand that guns could be harmful. It was that they didn't have the ability to deal with their emotions appropriately.
They didn't value human life.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is they didn't understand the value of life, and they didn't understand the consequences of taking life, and they didn't know how to handle their emotions.
They understood what the gun could do.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the whole point of them going there. It has nothing to do with...
Yeah, people exposed to guns and people not exposed to guns, they understand the capabilities of what it could do. It's a tool. It can be used for multiple things. Mm-hmm. But from life experience, for me, being around guns my entire life, you can tell the difference between someone who's been around guns their life and they know about guns in comparison to the people who haven't. Mm-hmm. Because people who haven't, they're either like the teacher in this scenario where they freak out because there's a bubble gun and they think that child's life is ruined because guns equal bad people and bad people kill good people. Mm-hmm. Or it's someone who just doesn't know the consequences of using a gun the wrong way, and then they end up hurting somebody.
Right.
Whereas people that have been exposed to guns all their life, they're some of the safest, down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. And for the most part. I use that kind of broad, but for the mm-hmm. most part, they'll be very down-to-earth, very cautious, and responsible.
Right. I think, too, like, a lot of these stories that are coming out recently since, these tragedies of school shootings and whatnot, the incidents, like this school girl bringing the bubble gun to school, it has been because of fear. They're afraid something worse is going to come from it. They're not going about it in a knowledgeable, intelligent way. It's all based in fear.
Yeah, especially that, I'm thinking the more detrimental thing here is a little 5-year-old girl getting kicked out of school because she took a toy. She took a toy to school to play with her friends. And everyone went... I work in a nursery one day out of the month with my wife at church. The little kids. If you want to distract kids for a long period of time, you get bubbles. They love them, and they love to try and reach out and pop them and put them in their mouth. And so it's like their best friend almost. And so in my mind, it's like she's going to share her bubbles with her friends. but then she gets, strong-armed.
Yeah.
And
it says here that the school suspended the girl for a day for it, though. Now, I'm reading it a little more into it now. But still, the punishment isn't as harsh as
I think it is, though.
Like, it is harsh for a 5-year-old girl. A lot of the things that stuck with me when I was young were, now I look back on it, it's really stupid now, but it's the small things that get it doesn't matter small or large. Everything is large and a big deal to a child.
Yeah, I think that I was about to say that, like, thinking of the understanding, like, if a 16-year-old guy took a bubble gun to high school and took it out to shoot bubbles up in class, and they suspended him for taking that because it was considered a weapon.
Yeah, he's not.
He would be like, he would say that's stupid, and it would make him upset. But at the end of the day, he'd keep going. Whereas a little girl, a little 5-year-old girl or boy, a little 5-year-old saying that's a weapon. You could have caused a lot of trouble. You were going to suspend you for a day. In her mind, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm such a terrible person.
I'm reading down even further on it. It says this has happened before to a 5-year-old who brought a pink Hello Kitty bubble gun back in 2013.
Wow. I don't know how much more non-threatening you can be than a pink Hello Kitty bubble gun. Oh, man. All right. I think it's time to keep going, but that's just... Things like this are ridiculous. I think that it's just ridiculous,
I do agree. We're handling situations so small in a grand manner that... And then the situations that I feel like this nation, I'm not going to go into details of it, we're treating with just the complete opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if the school, the kindergarten had a standard of, hey, you can't bring any toy knives or guns here. I wonder if that's even written down in the agreement that the parents had to sign or anything. Because if it did, then I would understand this a little more. But if it doesn't, and they suspended her for a day for that, like, that's the worst thing ever,
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
hey, what come out? Movies. You like movies, John?
I love movies.
Great segue, right?
Yeah, great.
Terrible segue.
We did so good. Segways are good two-wheel transportation devices.
Wow.
Zing! Anyways, at the top of the charts for this week is...
I wonder what it is.
Do you want to go ahead and take a guess?
I know the answer. It's right in front of me on my tablet.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and ask for a drum roll. Drum roll, please. Top of the charts right now is Captain America Civil War.
Oh, yeah, because let's be honest, what else is out right now that would be even in close competition to that? Well, Zootopia, but that's been out for a while.
The Jungle Book.
That's been out for a while too, though.
That's true.
Obviously, you know that movies, they come out and they hit its high spot when it first comes out, and it obviously, with reason, it drops. And
in honesty, I'm on it. I'm waiting to see if next weekend on May 27th, if the X-Men Apocalypse
I wanted to ask you that.
will surpass.
No.
You don't think it's going to do better?
Okay, I'm going to go see Captain America. Sorry, I've seen Captain America. I'm going to go see X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks... Okay, I was talking to your sister about this, who is a huge Marvel fan.
Yeah.
I really liked First Class. One of my favorite X-Men movie. And they established a lot of plot points in that movie that... when they brought over to Days of Future Past, these movies are older. Spoiler warning, at the end of First Class, Magneto takes a bunch of mutants with him.
Yeah.
And then in Days of Future Past, without any reason, it's just like, yeah, they're dead now.
I don't know if it's without reasoning, because it kind of shows.
I mean, they do, but
they
it's
were
like
captured and killed to be able to take their mutagens and.
Yeah, they showed that, something. But it's like
they hinted at it. They didn't explain how that happened, but
right.
You know.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this too. What was, as a general general sense, what was the best part of that movie?
Which one?
Sorry, Days of Future Past.
What was the best part of that movie?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because I have
probably Quicksilver.
I have the correct answer.
Probably the part with Quicksilver.
It's exactly the correct answer.
Just that one insert. I mean, and it's not even like what 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes of the plot line. I think he's going to be in Apocalypse.
Yeah, I think I saw a commercial that he's in it, but I don't know if that's going to make it any better.
No, I just
But the only reason that he did in Days of Future Past is because he was a comic relief.
Right.
Like that's it.
They're going more and more comic booky looking. I guess like a very comic silly look. I don't know. It all looks really silly to me.
Yeah. But anyways, Captain America: Civil War is at the top of the charts.
My question is has it surpassed Batman vs Superman? Now I feel like I'm probably the only person. I really like that movie.
I don't know. I actually didn't go and see that movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it's at 72.6 million right now this week.
Does your information there say anything about Batman versus Superman?
It's not. It's not on the charts right here. I can look a little further, but when did the release date for Batman vs Superman? When was that?
Oh, you know what? I don't even know. I remember reading somewhere that Civil War actually had a lower opening weekend than Batman vs Superman.
Here it is right here.
I probably has at this point surpassed Batman vs Superman. Civil War has.
Mm-hmm.
But
so the audience score is 67%.
Yeah, scores don't matter.
Okay.
What's money?
It actually is not. It doesn't show the money.
I gotta say this. This is my opinion on ratings. Don't take somebody else's opinion off of what you enjoy.
This is true.
Because my opinion of Batman vs. Superman was, yes, the movie was a little bit broken, but it still was enjoyable to watch. That's my opinion. Other people have different opinions on it.
That's fair.
So, I mean, I agree on that. You shouldn't make your decisions based off of other people's opinions off of something.
In fairness, I'm more of a Marvel fan than I am a DC fan. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't even know too much about the DC world. And so even when it comes down to in movies in general, okay, but since there's already that what am I even trying to say? Since I already have a desire for Marvel and it's greater than DC, it's automatically, in my mind, always going to just naturally trump. Unless...
Okay, I gotta put this in here. Marvel has been making their movies for quite some time now. In their cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Batman vs. Superman was supposed to... Well, Man of Steel, technically. But Batman vs. Superman was supposed to be their entry point to the DC cinematic universe that they're trying to create.
Yeah. But, I mean, they almost did the same thing that Marvel did, except that they sped it up a lot. So they had Man of Steel, and then they jumped right into Batman vs. Superman, and they introduced a lot of different characters, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes, but all within, 2 minutes that they introduced these characters.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, though, is Marvel, on the other hand, has several movies where they're introducing different characters, and then they have a movie where all these characters flush in. Yes,
DC is trying to catch up to Marvel, but Marvel has quite a leg up on DC on this.
Oh, yeah.
So
the downside to Marvel is that since they don't have the X-Men rights,
No, they don't have Marvel Spider-Man's either. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Sony still has. And this is the same thing with X-Men. X-Men 20th Century Fox owns X-Men.
Yeah.
And Sony own not the actual characters, the movie rights to make those characters within the movies.
Yeah.
And the same with Spider-Man with Sony. Sony made a deal with Marvel to use that character in Civil War. Spoilers, Spider-Man is in Civil War.
Oh, Jarus. It's okay. It's in the commercials.
It's in the commercials. I don't feel like... I feel the need I have to say them.
Yeah. You can't even get onto us because it's in the commercial. And if you actually cared, you would have seen it
Well,
already.
there are actual people who even avoid trailers now. Like, there's people who...
I think that those people don't deserve the right to complain. Because if you're avoiding trailers, then you would avoid people who talk about the movies.
There are people who consider trailer spoilers at this point because they want to go into the movie completely blind to what's going to happen.
And so with that, I would say they've already seen the movie if they're that extreme. But if they haven't on that chance out, I think that they would have stopped listeing to us right now since we started talking.
So they're not even hearing what we're saying.
Yeah. So all right, well, I think
it's about time to wrap up.
Yeah, it's about time to get the kick
so,
go time.
Real quick before we go, I believe if this podcast works out, which I really hope it does, because I did enjoy sitting here talking to you about this. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to my beautiful voice and John's voice.
My melodious tones.
Yes, but we're going to... it was your idea. I feel like... Stop me if I'm doing it, explaining it poorly, but starting next week, we're going to... One of us is going to ask the other person a question.
A surprise question.
A surprise question. It could be literally anything, and that other person is going to answer it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good entry point to...
Yeah, so we'll flip a coin to see who'll start off. So let's say that, I win. So next week I'll ask Jarus a question. Point blank, he won't know. He won't have any idea what the question is. He won't have any time to prepare for an answer. I'll present the question to him, and he'll have to answer it.
And vice versa for me.
And then vice versa. And then the following week he'll do the same for me.
So
that's how it's going to go. So it will get pretty interesting. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's
So we're going to flip a coin now. Do you have a coin?
I don't have one on me. I'll be right back.
Run, John, run! I will entertain the audience while, So, hi guys. How y'all doing?
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, come on, I'm not done having the heart-to-heart talk with the audience. Y'all getting your grades up?
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I don't know what it's on right now. I'm shaking it around in my hands. I'm putting it on my knuckle and call it in the air, okay? And since I'm flipping, you call.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Heads.
Heads.
Yes. Okay, so I'll be asking you a question next week.
Yeah. So Jarus will be asking me a point-blank question next week, and I'll have no time to prepare.
All right. So
Okay. Well.
I got the best way to end this.
Okay.
It was funny that we used a coin too. Was it a penny? Please tell me it was a penny.
No, I wish it was. I should have thought that ahead.
Dang it! You should have said it was a penny. Nobody can see that.
Man.
No one can see that I dressed up all nice and fancy for the podcast.
Yeah, no one can see that happened because I can't even see that happened.
So, that was our 2 cents. Y'all have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.